to get better. It's good to win and improve. That's a real big part of it. You learn a lot about yourself in situations like that. I feel like we learned a lot of things that we suspected about our team in terms of our character and our competitiveness, toughness, and also things that we just have to get better at, just flat out things that we're not doing nearly well enough. But that's an opportunity, right? That's an opportunity to really improve. So there's a lot of room for growth on this football team. That excites me as well. So we'll get to the work of that this week and get ready for a very, very good Washington Commanders team that is playing at a very high level, maybe the highest level in the league right now. So what questions do you have?
John, on the Lamar play with the 2-yard pass to Likely, where he drops the snap, stiff arms the guy and throws it, where does that play kind of rank for you? I mean, everyone's pretty amazed by it, but for you, I mean, where does it kind of rank for you?
On the rankings of extended scramble plays, like my dad always says, you've never had a better win. There's probably never been a better play today. It's an amazing play. And Lamar. The thing I preach about Lamar is he's not even happy with it. He's mad about it. Because it's not the way. It's definitely not the playbook that way. But that goes back to what we kind of talked about. A lot of times you got to find ways to win. You have to overcome. Sometimes you have to overcome your own things, and certainly the opponent throws so many things at you that are challenging. I just thought it was an incredible, fabulous play that will go down in history. I mean, we'll be watching that play for years to come on NFL films.
Coach, the adjustments Lamar made, the way they were stacking the box, they weren't like they're going to beat them. The way he started to throw the ball, they went to cover zero, they threw everything at him. He was making plays downfield. The adjustments he made to deal with that defense.
Todd, I mean, it's one of the great points of the game right there. They attacked us how we expected them to. They've used those same defenses in the past against us to great effect. They're an aggressive team. Lou is a heck of a defensive coordinator, and they're come and get you type of a mindset, and that's what they went to, and we handle it for the most part. The zero blitzes, the zero shows, and bluff outs, and play cover 3. We handled those for the most part, and they got us, and we got them. And I was really proud of the way Lamar handled it. Certainly, he got us into plays, got us into protections, made throws under duress, on target, on point. Guys made catches, guys got open. Both Zays, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, Tylan Wallace. I mean, guys made plays like crazy in those situations, and that's what you have to do. You have to come up and make those plays and get into a play that is effective against that stuff. So that's a tremendous point you're making.
John, on some of the snaps between Tyler and Lamar yesterday, on the Isaiah Likely touchdown, he didn't have Santa or didn't get the snap cleanly, and then obviously fumbled in overtime. Did you chalk that up to crowd noise? Do you chalk that up to some other communication issue between Tyler and Lamar? And what do you want to see with that?
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, that's like one of the open-ended opportunities I think to really improve, and that's the challenge. Like you're facing a defense that's going to give you a lot of different things that are going to be aggressive, and so you can't go to the line with just one option because you can be wrong probably a higher percentage of the time. So you go to the line with multiple options. Our ability to get in the right option and execute it so you can hurt them is what you're trying to do. Crowd noise, absolutely part of it. Communication, because of even in the huddle, is part of it. Getting it right, making sure everybody's on the same page with that. IDing it and seeing it. What you have to do to move, motion or shift wise, to actually uncover is part of the challenge. And then to say it on the time that you get that play clock running down on you. So it got us a couple times. I think that's something that we're going to continue to work on and practice, but also our verbiage or terminology. Just try to continue to get to the point where we can make things a little cleaner, tighter. But that means that you have to use less words in the huddle, which means guys have to memorize more as they learn, have a better understanding of the offense. So it's the best way I can describe it. It's a lot to it, but it's certainly something that you work on every day.
John, recognizing how talented that Bengals receiver group is, when you watch this game again, why were they able to do what they did? Like, what didn't quite work for your secondary?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think they had just an A+ game in terms of their execution. He had pressure in his face numerous times. The pocket was getting pushed, guys were coming at him. He stood there and made some really great throws. Like on-the-money throws off his back foot. He had receivers that were tightly covered. I call them, tightly contested catches. We had numerous tight coverage where they made the catches. So In that case, that kind of a throw under pressure, that kind of a catch, that's football. You know, you have to understand that. But I also believe that we compounded the yardage because we didn't play things as well as we need to play. You know, there's so much opportunity in there to play certain things better. Probably 5 or 6 plays in the passing game from a coverage standpoint that we're just way better than that. You know, we're way better than that to play some of those things the way we played them. Our guys are going to watch them on tape. I'm sure they already have. And they're going to say the same thing. They're going to say, you know, that's something we got to do better. So that's it. We're still striving for consistency. You know, we're still fighting for consistency, and you're going against a really efficient, talented offense, but it's still up to us to play our defense consistently the way we want to play it.
John, along those lines, is it the consistency aspect? Is it you want to see more communication, you want to see more plays on the ball? You know, guys not being open on occasion on the sample play. What specifically are you looking for?
It's really all those things, Brian. I mean, it's actually all those things. You know, that's where consistency comes in. You know, it's never one thing. It's all those things that you have to do all the time. Like we had tight coverage. We were in the right spots. We were matching routes so many times so well. But, you know, 4 or 5 times against a quarterback that can really see the field, get the ball where he needs to late when it pops open, that's where you get exposed, you know. So to win our conference, to win our division, to win a game against the teams we're going to play quarterbacks that are capable of that. You know, we've got another one coming up this week, different style, but same kind of, you know, in different ways creates the same level of problems. And so we've just got to be on point every single play of what we're doing.
If you were to, I guess, rank your level from certain 1 to 10
I don't know. You know, I don't do that. I've never done that.
John,
Still rankings.
John, we know as you like to call them, the pundits at times have claimed that you guys, when you're down by double digits like you were yesterday, you tend to quote unquote panic. That obviously wasn't the case yesterday. You come back and win. What does winning a game like that do for you if you're put in that situation again late in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the pundits saying that. I really haven't seen that. I don't even see any stats on that. I mean, I don't know how many times you've been down by double digits in the fourth quarter. I should probably have our analytics people look it up.
Not often.
That I know, huh?
Not often.
Not too often. So I'm not sure where like a storyline where that would come from. But that having been said, I mean, I'd rather be up by double digits and hold the lead, you know. But it's good to know you can do it. You know, I think back to the Indianapolis game. This is really the last one I remember, and then we came back and got that done. And really driven by Lamar, you know, honestly, and all the guys around him. I thought the protection was so good and tough. You know, they were bringing blitzes, heavy blitzes, and there were times where he had to get away. He got away a couple times, crazy. Moved in the pocket a couple times and made throws. Sometimes he was untouched. Guys getting open. Just all the things that go into the type of game you're in when you're down by double digits. 3 different times, right? I think we were down by 10 3 different times in the fourth quarter. So, you know, that's good. You know, I don't want to be the guy that dwells on the negative, just says, oh, but, you know, we weren't good here, we weren't good there. We're going to dwell on that because we're coaches, and, you know, we need to. It's us. We look at ourselves. And where can we get better? What's our opportunity? But at the same time, you know, maybe we should get credit for coming back 3 different times, you know, on the number of times we came back from double-digit deficits.
Is that kind of sort of a microcosm of the way things have gone this season, where you start out 0-2 and now you've won 3 straight? You're right there at first place. I mean, a sense of where the team's at after the rough beginning.
Well, I mean, I like where we're at. I think it's part of it. It kind of goes together, you know. We were in a good place, and we're in a better place now because we're continuing to improve. But we have a lot of improvement to do and a lot of opportunity to get better. So I'm excited about that opportunity.
John, you and a lot of people in this franchise have talked about Derrick Henry's professionalism. You know, not a lot of touches in the fourth quarter because of the game situation, but then in overtime, they were workhorse for you. What goes into Derrick's ability to kind of stay ready to break off a big play, even if he's not seeing a lot of game action for that extended period of time?
That's a great question. I mean, I'd say the first thing Derrick would tell you is really good blocking. I mean, you had that play happen, and the play before that too, on the right side before the fumble, was a really well blocked crack toss play. This was a zone crack play to the left. That man, I mean, just the fact that it was a point in time in the game where fatigue was a big part of everything that was going on. And to see our guys pull around the way they did, Tyler Wallace blocked, Pat Ricard's blocked, Ronnie's blocked. I mean, those guys had some great blocks. And then you have, like you said, Derrick. His time on that was over 21 miles an hour. I think it was 21.04 maybe, which matches the fastest time that he's ever had, that I'm aware of, according to our people. In a game, in overtime, on a hot day like that, toward the end of the game, you know, after he's been tackled a number of times. You know, that kind of speaks for itself.
John, on the punt that rolled out at the 2-yard line in the second quarter, how do you coach off that? What should have happened on that play?
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be caught. You know, he knows that. He's gonna want that one, you know, caught. You know, and that's definitely. You just got to get over there. You got to get over there, get squared up on it, fair catch it if you have to. Just catch it. But what I'm impressed with, talking about Tyler, is how he bounces back. 2 huge catches in the fourth quarter that we don't win the game without, and the block to spring the game-winning run, right? So sometimes you have a bad play. He knows it would put us in a bad spot. He's on our offense, you know. He understands that, but he didn't get down about it. He didn't sit on the bench and throw, you know, pout about it at all. He just he looks you right in the eye and says, "Okay, you know, I'm still here. You know, I'm gonna find a way to make it up," you know, and he did.
You talked about when we talk about Justin Tucker, we don't often talk about lack of confidence or his confidence meter for Justin Tucker with his confidence or anything. But how big do you think hitting that 56-yarder in that situation was for him?
Yeah, I mean, it was big for our team. You know, and that's what he'll tell you too. It's like, you know, our team needed it, you know, and he did come over afterwards, after he made that kick, which was a very difficult kick. He came over afterwards after making that kick, and he was pumped up, and he was actually after the kickoff. I think he kicked the touchback. Comes to the sideline, gets right in my face, you know, just a little uncomfortably close. You know, he broke into my personal space. And he goes, "Let's go win the game. Let's win the game." You know? I'm for that. I am for winning the game. I am on board with that. And I think for him to get the opportunity then to finish it with the game winner, this week, you know, it means a lot.
John, we saw, you know, in preseason, looked like Marcus Williams was back to his old, you know, star himself. What do you guys have to do? What does he have to do to get him back to that where he can be more of an impact player?
Yeah, Marcus is working hard. He's doing a good job. He's making a lot of good tackles, a lot of physical play in there, and you know, I think he's on the verge of really breaking out. So balls are going to come his way. You know, he's moving really well. I fully expect him to come up with some big plays for us very soon.
John, is some of that just an adjustment? I mean, obviously, you're not doing things necessarily exactly the same as you did coverage-wise with McDonald doing his Edwards. Some of that just playing with new players, to try to everyone getting comfortable playing together?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it could be any or all of those things. It's just, there's no way to know for sure. I feel like it's just like every season kind of different. Every season stands on its own. Nothing's really. There's some continuity for sure, but there's also a lot of things that just stand on their own. And you know, for instance, in this league, I mean, we say it's a 1 week. It's a 1 week league, and it's a 1-0 league. It's a 1 game at a time league. It's a 1 play at a time league. I mean, you just got to take every play, every game, every week, and stand on its own and do your best in that game. And then you assess kind of where you're at and what you need to work on after that.
You talked about the contested catches that the Bengals receivers made. Your receivers made a number of them in this game too, especially after 2 games that were really run heavy. For them to come up and make those plays for Lamar, for this offense, just what's that mean for these pass catchers?
I think that's a great point. I mean, those guys, you know, hey, you run the ball for a bunch of yards in your head and all that, and it's like, well, you know, guys aren't making plays, you guys are getting a chance and all that. And then, but they didn't. I mean, they want to make plays, you know. They got their chance this game, you know, and they made them. I mean, in the fourth quarter, all through the game. But in the fourth quarter, these catches that were made by these guys and these throws that were made by Lamar were just at the highest possible level. And every one of them was required for us to have a chance to win the game, the way the game went. So I'm just proud of those guys for that.
John, looking back to training camp when Ronnie Stanley was saying he feels the best he has since his Pro Bowl season to now, I guess, do you see that in him? And besides just his health, what is he doing differently this year?
Justin?
Ronnie Stanley.
Oh, Ronnie, besides yourself. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think Ronnie, it's health's the main thing. You know, he had a really bad, you know, the whole thing. You know, you guys know the story on Ronnie, and he's tough and fought through it. But I think he had an off season where he could train, and he went to work and trained because he was healthy enough to do it. Got strong, got his strength back. He's always been a good athlete, but to get that power, that strength, that anchor back was really important. He's been able to practice every day. You know, right on through. He's practiced every day through training camp. He's been out there. And it's a practice sport, you know, for anybody. So for him, regaining his form, I'd say those are the two things that made the difference.
Coach, you guys getting pretty healthy? Any major issues injury-wise?
Yeah, I think we're good. We'll see, but I think we're okay.
John, you mentioned how good the pass protection was yesterday. I mean, this configuration of the offensive line has played 2 really good games now. I mean, will it be? I mean, is the tendency to want to sort of go with this line while it's playing so well, even though Voorhees probably will be ready to play soon?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. You know, Andrew will come back, you know, maybe this week, you know, 3 weeks with the high ankles about right. And gosh, I mean, you can't believe how hard he's working at it. You know, it's amazing how tough he is. So it's good, it'll be good to have him back, but, you know, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, right? So if we're doing well, we're probably gonna try to keep that momentum going with the addition and the opportunity to put guys in, you know, when where we might be able to. I'm probably a little more open to that than a lot of teams, even still, but I think the offensive line is doing a good job. We just have to see where we're at through the week.
John, I know Ngakwe didn't play a whole lot, but how did you think he looked, and how did he fit as it pertains to your rotation and rusher?
Yeah, I thought he looked good, you know, and he had 11 snaps. I was hoping for more. I'm sure he was too, but you know, those guys were playing so well also, and the way it played out, they were pretty fresh for whatever reason. But we're going to be intentional about, you know, getting all our pass rushers in the game, you know, who are out, because, you know, they're fresher. So that's something I think we have to do a good job of going forward. I think he looked good. He looked really good. David Jabo looked really good. So did David.
Don, Charlie Kohler, he's been getting more and more involved in the offense. What have you seen from him, and when you think about his overall development, what stands out to you?
Yeah, Charlie making big strides, don't you think? I mean, we talk about in college he was a pass catcher. You know, didn't do any blocking. I don't even think he lined up in a line very much. He's made himself into a fine blocker. He's doing a really good job blocking, very physical. And then now you say, okay, he's a run blocking tight end. But he's always had the pass catching ability. So to see him get out there in a seam route, to get that big play, and then to catch the the goal line route, you know, the low route, the perfect throw that Lamar made. I'm just jacked up for him, and I'm really excited for us because now it gives you another dual threat tight end.
John's kind of touching on that. You know, Mark, I think in the last few games has been really good as a blocker, and even though he was able to get some seniority in this game, you know, yeah, I think at each time there's been time where each of those 3 tight ends have been the leader in receiving yards. Has the goal of that group been to just get more versatile? Period. I mean, has the goal of the player development there been like, hey, let's make sure these guys are developing as blockers, not just targets?
You know, it's a great question. I would say, I don't know if it's the goal, right, per se. We didn't say that was the thing, because I think it's kind of an understood goal. I mean, any player wants to be as versatile as they can be. Any tight end wants to be a dual threat tight end. Because if you're out there in the run game, it opens up the pass game. If you're out there in the pass game, it opens up the run game. So you want to be as versatile and dual threat as you can possibly be. There are some more one-dimensional guys for sure, but I think our guys are dual threat guys, and I think they've proven that. You have to establish that. I believe we always believed it, that they were that, you know, but to see them go out there and do it in games, and that's why they were put in those situations, you know, that's really, it's powerful for us.
John, this week with Jaden Daniels, there's going to be a lot of focus on the playmaking quarterbacks, Jaden and Lamar. When you're looking at Jaden, do you see elements of Lamar, or do you think there's more differences than similarities between them?
I just, you know, I see a really good quarterback. I mean, you know, it's every week you look at the quarterback. That's where the offense starts. You know, and Joe Burrow is a top quarterback in the league. He's one of the best guys, and he's one of the best guys in his own unique way. And we saw it on Sunday, the challenges that his game presents. Jaden Daniels is, you know, heck, he's played what, 5 games now, and he's been one of the best in the league for 5 games so far as a rookie. He plays different than Joe Burrow. Every quarterback plays their own unique way. Similarities, differences, there's always that part of it, but we just have to look at him and how he fits into their offense and prepare for their offense as run by him. And that's a big challenge. And we got our hands full with that, so that's how we look at it as a defense.
John, do you expect Deontay Hardy back this week? I think we were surprised to see him inactive for some reason.
Yeah, that was kind of snuck up on us there, but that stuff happens in this league, so I think yes, but again, hope for the best.
John, you saw Ronald with the walking boot. Is that just precautionary and you still feel good about his stats?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in these games, man, these are physical, tough games. You're on the turf and all that, so we just don't want to make any promises, but I think we're in good shape. Okay? All right. Thanks, everybody.